to take care of his fiance. So, okay, we're starting again. This is part 2. So, the fiance is saving money for his bride, so they have a good marriage and they're safe and you know happy. Now this squirrel or whatever, he wants this proposal to happen, and this button emergency, it's got to be solved. So I think he's going to talk to some. Okay, so he's obviously not a squirrel because these are squirrels. So I don't know what he is. Magical squirrel, big squirrel, giant squirrel. And these guys are gonna send a message to the owl, who's in charge of all the animals in the forest, so they can get to the bear with the button emergency and maybe help him. So they've asked a raccoon, and he's checking his map because he's bad at directions, like me. Oh, okay. So I think that the lock is still in play. They're still thinking about the lock because that was going to get to the bear faster and wouldn't hold up the magical princess seamstress. So it's got a key because the lock needs a key and they forgot the key. Oops! Still, they're thinking maybe sew it on, but you'd have to sew a lock on anyway. And he's traveling through crazy weather. He's on a mission. This guy is the best, even though he's bad at directions. This guy, you call this guy when you need an emergency solved. Oh, the magical fish. They found the lock. So the lock is still in play. So is it going to be a button or is it going to be a lock? We'll have to wait and see. What is the bear going to have? And will the bear reach the seamstress in time? Ooh. Seamstress lost the button, I think. She lost the button. But the bear has a button, so she doesn't know that, but she's probably going to be worried about the fact that she hasn't got a button. So the weather is cleared for the raccoon. And this guy is the best. The weather is cleared for the raccoon, and we're back where we started. So okay, so well, this was the good ending. I thought this was a good ending. So I think the raccoon solved the case, and he got the lock. I think the lock was the answer because she lost the button, and the bear, well, he wasn't going to make a good job of the sewing of the button because he was just going to prick his fingers and bleed everywhere, and so he just used the lock, and they sewed the lock on, and then he went, and then he could be the celebrant because he proposed. See? And we can go back down the whole same path and say a different story. She said yes, of course. So, should I shuffle it up again and see what happens? So the monster of the forest, he took all the money, but I think that squirrel guy, oh, and then he found the button, and he got a conscience, I think, and the fairy, he told the fairy, because he's in the tree, he got a conscience. He said, I don't need this money, and I don't need this button, and then the prince heard about it, and he did a little jig, and he's like, yes, I get married, and the button emergency is solved, and just everything good, and I can give all my gifts to my girlfriend, my fiance, because she said yes. And now the bear's going home because he had his button fixed. And the fish is like, yeah, man. Yeah, I did it. And then they all rode off into the sunset and lived happily ever after. I thought this was going to be sexy, but I guess I'm just not that imaginative. Okay, so thank you for listening to my story. Yeah. Okay, so they lived happily ever after, and don't worry, they get married and have lots of kids and stuff, and couldn't find a happier couple.